Um, okay, so I hope this one is coming loud and clear. I hope, yeah, I hope I'm loud and clear. So this one is, let's look at this. This feed was 9.8%, and today's feed was 5.8%. You could have, if you could have held the trade to this low or into premium into the demand, but ideally it would have been this low or this range, right? That's 11%. Cool. That's not what how to let it go. But let's focus on what we are, what the reason why I am here for this video. So let me go back to the so on the 4 hour before I will talk through everything. Um, let me use this demonstration tool so that you can be able to follow where I am talking about, right? I hope this is clear. So we have this, and now we are having something like this. On this 4 hour, we are clearly bullish, right? So we are trading within this range clearly. Right? If that is the case, right? If that is the case, a run on a higher time frame is a trend on a lower time frame. So we will write this and keep it on the chart. Run on the higher time frame is a trend on the lower time frame. Okay, so this is one key concept you have to keep in mind. A run on a higher time frame, let me anchor this. A run on the higher time frame is a trend on the lower time frame. What do I mean by this? And how does this apply? Okay, now let's look at, let's examine deeper into what I mean. So I said a run on the higher time frame is a trend on the lower time frame. Now, now, what we are saying is we have a higher time frame growth trend and a higher time frame counter trend or pullback or correction or retracement, and you have higher time frame growth trend, right? Okay, so let's go back here for a run on a higher time frame. It's a trend on a lower time frame. We have this impulsive move, we have this corrective structure, and we have the next impulsive. So what happened, what actually happened was that, well, what will happen is when we get this impulsive move, we will expect a pullback, right, at some point in time. What will happen is the lower time frame, this is the 4 hour is our higher time frame, which we are considering the run from, which means the lower time frame, which is the M15 or the 15 minutes, will switch what? Will switch bearish to facilitate the objective of the swing structure, which is pulling back, of the facilitate the objective of the higher time frame structure. So the higher time frame structure here is bullish. You can see we had this impulsive move, creating this higher high, creating this higher high. We had this higher low, and now we are good. We haven't really broken the high yet. We haven't broken the high yet, right? So price is still within the range. Price is still within price is still within this one swing range, right? We had higher time frame pullback, and we are getting the higher time frame continuation. How would we know that the higher time frame continuation? This is where we can add the trade type structures and everything. Right? This is where we can add the type structure with multi-time frame market structure to give us the framework. I've been talking about this framework. What does this actually mean? Right? What does this actually mean? Do we have a framework? Do you have a framework? So we are building a framework, but now we are focusing much on multi-time frame market structure, right? So what we have to keep it in mind is that when this one is pulling back, the lower time frame will switch bearish to facilitate the pullback. The lower time frame will switch bearish to facilitate the pullback. What happened is, you can see we switched bearish and we facilitated the pullback. We had this some kind of move to the upside, and price came to the lows, which failed to break this low, right? So from structure perspective, from basic market structure perspective, the the correction or the high time frame structure is still, in a pullback phase, because you can see this one switched and we move straight to the downside. So price can be what is happening here can be the pro trend to go, but most of the times, or what is happening here is this one is a restructure for internal. This one will be a strong structure, or the lower time frame structures. The high time frame structure is king, right? But this the idea. The idea is that if this low was broken with a candle body close, or with a candle body, so let me zoom right in. Let me zoom right in. If I do this, you can see that we never broke this low. We didn't break this low, and even this low, if you are considering the extreme, and you consider all of this to be one move back. What happened was this is the break. Yeah. So we had the break. We were expecting this to be the pullback. After the break, we were expecting the pullback. The pullback has we have mitigated an area. We have mitigated a demand area, and now we are moving to the outside. As we got in this low, price moved to the outside. We came to the low. Price has failed to break the low, the weak low. Price failed to break the low, and price, broke above this internal, yes, the internal high. This here will be our internal high, but this the main structure. Here will be the weak, and here will be the strong structure because it led to weak. From the 4 hour perspective, this is just an internal structure to give us the spring pullback for this. Price can still move from here as we are seeing. Price can still move from here. We can still pull back into this area. What I really want to express is we can do whatever we want to do within this range, right? Within here and here. But when price breaks this strong structure, that led to a break of structures, then everything. Then here we will classify, we will say that the higher time frame structure is bearish. If that will be the case, then the higher time frame pullback will be bullish, and around the higher time frame section on the lower time frame, which means the 15 minutes and the lower time frames will switch. The 15 minutes and the lower time frame will switch to facilitate those pullbacks. So let's look at the lower time frame, because you know that currently we are in the higher time frame pullback phase. The thing is, let me make this clear, because we can still continue the sales and get ourselves move, or with a framework we can still get. Okay, so looking at this one move, where was the fractal structure, or where is fractal structure? Here was it. This one can fail to break this candle through, right? And we have this push to the outside, and here we had a break. This one was a strong structure. Now this one was our strong liquidation, because for this zone, now I'm bringing some kind of liquidity and everything, but pay close attention. This one was the major move, and this is in the 4 hour as well. We had the change of character. In actual sense, change of character here, this break of structure will be the confirmation that the change of character or internal break of structure will be the confirmation that the higher time frame pullback has ended, and we are getting the continuation, right? What happened here was that after we got the break, here was the strong liquidation. It is strong liquidation because although this is a strong structure that led to a break, here this fractal low led to a fractal break of structure. So here is a fractal strong structure, right? So what I was expecting was, I was expecting a mitigation from this my zone, the refined area, this range. from this refined area. Right? That was where I was expecting the liquidation from. We didn't mitigate it here. We didn't mitigate it, and price dropped to the lows to break to give us our strong liquidation. So on a 4 hour, what we had from last week was bullish intention. We broke this zone failed, but I was expecting it to fail. The reason is it was strong. We had a strong liquidation. The about like uh one day. Okay. So when we if at the moment no, let's focus on the 4 hour. If at that time that we had this break, eh, at that time that we had this break, if price didn't mitigate this, right, and we came straight to here, then I would have looked forward to get an entry model here or 5 minutes refined structure, and I will look for opportunities. 5 minutes refined structure from within this zone. And I will look for opportunity to target the loot, because this one will be me playing this swing pullback, right? Me playing this swing pullback. So and it is very early, so this one is high probable. But in this scenario, what happened was after we got this sleep of this high, that liquidation after we got this liquidation, and we had our mitigation structure here, and we had this chain of character and this boss here. Price came to mitigate this, which was the last bullish order flow. That led to a break. That led to a break of this significant high, right? That led to a break of this significant high, and even I think it also swept this one as well. This liquidity area and a strong supply region here. It swept this one. It grew here and it led to this break. Um, if you watch my previous lessons, you will understand why. Yes, this was a valuable area, but nonetheless, I was looking forward for price to come into this zone, and even if we weren't going to, I wasn't expecting a much deeper move. I was still expecting a decent move from here, at least into here to send price to here as it is. So I was expecting this. The framework was, if we sɛ nka yɛasweepi wei no, yɛamitigate wei a, then looking for sales from here was half bubble. But what happened was we mitigated it and came to the outside. We changed character, which is our first bullish confirmation. Like this is the earliest confirmation that bullish are stepping in the market. Cool. We've mitigated a zone from this region. Price they like twice, so it didn't go big. Then they do whatever I want to do. And we had our strong liquidation. So the this structure still holds. We've had what we call strong liquidation. So if we were expecting, as we are expecting this pullback, even if we are expecting the pullback, we can use this zone as a valuable area, right, to play this earliest confirmation of this internal pullback into the middle zone. But we also know that this is the main move, like This is the main move. So this impact can be ending, and this can be the main imposting move. So buying from here is much probable, right? Buying from that zone is much probable because the major supply zone hasn't been mitigated yet. We have mitigated the major demand region. We have our strong liquidation, right? And yeah, it was within the premium as well. So here you can see that price came into the premium as well. We came into what we call a premium, EQ, and premium and discount prices. So we came into discount, had our strong liquidation on the 4 hour, which gave us our first bullish confirmation. Cool. Where we had this, um, this what do we call it? Um, when we had our strong liquidation, here, this right here was our factor high. Because we had this break. After that break, we're feeling in this high. So we had this another break here, making here the factor high. Do this correct one, pull back and continue. So here was the last factor. What happened? Why did you look about it? And we pull back into this area and continue. Okay. So when we have this factor, we've had a strong liquidation. The PBO has failed. The last supplier that caused the liquidation, it has failed, which is this. The demand has failed, giving us our strong liquidation. So this was the PBO for this strong liquidation. For this strong liquidation. So when we got this switch, on here I can identify zone. So I can use the factor loop for I can come into the zone for me to look for buys. To take the pullback at that time, although at that time this at that time this impulsive move it can be um through higher time frame, right? Through higher time frame trend. Like when I'm buying our line of the higher time frame trend, I have some liquidation. We are getting a bullish intention. We mitigated demand rating. It is cooling. This kind of things, like they are confidence. But at the end of the day, what is the framework? The framework is on here. We only come here when we have this change of character. We gotten our change of character, which gave us um that is then do this, then do this. So on the 50 minutes, we still do only the 50 minutes swing. This is 15 minutes internal, right? The then so this 50 minutes internal, what has happened is when I come here and I am buying straight away after the strong liquidity, it can go as this one played out. But it is low probable because yes, price can still do whatever I want to do. But the framework is when this one at least aligns, we can be okay that cool. Now the higher time frame pullback can be ending, and we can look forward to take advantage of the buy moves or to play the pullback of this strength structure into here where is the premium. If I use it premium and discount price, you can see into weekly or possibly into premium these two areas. So this is what happened. When price came into this high here, we can still look forward to take advantage of the sell move that came to that caused our strong liquidity in the 4 hour. Right. But we never got our green, right? So that one is so high. We have to keep it in mind about the week that we are so bearish. That we are so bearish and yes, for strong structure. Yes, for strong structure. And yes, a week. So when we get this week here, this one is a 4 hour zone, right? The 4 hour demand zone that caused that caused the um change of character. So when here and we working it strongly within this is a range that I will draw, it is also a feeling from the beginning of the trade to the end of the trade. So uh, so this is the 15 minutes POI I'm looking to identify as well. And we had this. So this when I'm identify, we don't have inducement within this zone. So I would like to see say a red do either on the 15 minutes or if say break it, if say you for me on the lower time frame, it will be cool. But in Quebec, come on, say the 15 minutes, many pullback inducement, P-bit in the leg to increase the probability of this zone growth. So when price bar, I will following price. You can see say we had this low here. For this bullish move, we'll focus on here. This is the move that I'm talking about. So we had this pullback here, and then we had another pullback, and boom, we broke this one. This was the last. Let me. So here, I think all of this comes through the candle slow. So the factor high was here. So this one we didn't really have a change of character until we broke this low. So when we broke this low, here is our fractal structure. Here will be our fractal structure. What happened? Here this low also got broken. Then here will be our fractal structure here. Right? What happened? We broke about this. When we get our field break, then this one is our strong liquidation. At that time, price is still within the zone. When we get our 15 minutes mitigation of the 15 minutes POI, I can still go to the 5 minutes and look for trade here. Have wait for strong liquidation from this zone and trade. But ideally, if I see strong liquidation, when we are looking at this range here, right, from this 15 minutes, I can still identify this here. 5 minutes flow. Let me explain this. So we had this correct zone. If you look at it like this, you can see all of this can look good below until you go here. You select this, move to the upside, move to the downside, continue the move. This one will be high, this one will be low. The moment we break this, this low is our strong liquidation. So here will be our strong liquidation area, a zone. When price liquidates this entry, then where is the PBL is too active? PBL is here. PBL mean point before liquidation, and it is a validation technique, something that I use to check whether my entry is valid or invalid, right? That's what we call PB, or point before liquidation. The last supply that calls the liquidation. So this one will be my entry. This one will be my entry. Normally, this one is okay. So this is it is very big. Yeah, it is very big. This is profit. So I'll add, because I'll be going to pay buffer. Right, two, then I'll put my stop below the liquidation candle. Looking at this, the trade would have still gone in my favor, because this liquidation candle was never liquidated. Price came to tap into the structure among there. We didn't have our liquid, we didn't get any liquidation. But this is how normally you can make placing. Even normally I would have placed it around 5%. Yeah, just to be safe. Something like this. This is how I'll place the order. Or I'll just wait for this one to close, and when we get another push above it, then I'll enter something like this. Yeah, but yeah, this is how I'll do it, multiple. Then my first one, PBO is so active. So this is an area where I'll look forward to either remove my risk, because PBO can still hold and you can still create a lower low. So I can remove my risk, or I'll just allow it and see how price will play out and target the week high, which is 5.4%. And you can see this trade will hit. If one time for the strong liquidation on the 15 minutes now, about the 5 minutes, this is how you would have entered. But if so, for the strong liquidation on the 15 minutes now, but then you over enter from around after this liquidation, so we enter from around here, which is more safer. And when we get, so remember bounce and what the match to. So from what I've built, from whatever I've built, you can see that this is also a strong. This is a structure. This is a framework that I built. The 4 hour strong liquidation that we saw, and we had this 15 minutes strong liquidation, 5 minutes strong liquidation for the pullback, the P big pullback entry. pullback inducement. We have this. So yes, I think this morning I was talking about this structure here. So as I'm expecting this, we still have what color? Okay. So I thought about this structure, right? So having this red structure within on the 15 minutes. This is more advanced. This is more advanced. So keep it in mind. Within this red line, within the red line, we can still have something like um, within the red line. We also have this structure here that moved in positive, failed to break, failed to the downside, failed to break this. So now we have this. We have established this one as well. And price can be trading within the when price we fail to break this. We swerve this and the red zone, and we came to the downside to finally break this um to finally break the strong yellow low, leaving making here the weak because here was the strong that caused this break. So the moment we break this, now this one there's nothing supporting this weak structure, right? So we expect this one to be the same thing is what I was reading. So although I'm expecting this bigger or I'm expecting this pullback, the higher time frame will give us the confirmation that okay, from what I'm seeing, pullback can be starting. So let's get in if you get structure in our favor. And the same this is what happened. We have the structure. We have structure in our favor. Hmm. If from the far perspective, I know that, or if from the far perspective, I can yes anticipate that we are having a bigger move, and I will look forward to trading. Even here would have been 12%. Up to the 4 hour week will be 18%. But yeah, this is nice trade. So let's go through this morning's setup. So yeah, this is the bullish move I was expecting. Although the 4 hour is bullish and it is telling me that we can still come and break this. This is also a strong structure that caused this break, right? And price to break this we can nobody close. This can be a bullish um, intention, the earliest signal of bullish intention, but it is not a truest confirmation. So as price is still coming to the extreme, if we are going to move and if we are going to get the continuation of this swing structure, we have to do it from here because if this zone fails, then yeah, we are not getting we are straight strength. Price can sweep this and fill the demand, sorry, the supply there, and still move to the downside, right? That thing can happen, but yeah, the phase is we are at the extreme, right? We are at the extreme, and we have strong liquidation. Before we are within premium, this one has failed, right? This zone has used this as inducement. we use this as inducement. Right, so from the 15 minutes perspective, we have leg inducement here. We have leg inducement. What happened this morning was that I think this morning I drew this zone that cool. I had this structure. If price comes back into these zones, I will look forward to continue the bullish move until we mitigate this structure, or until we mitigate my 5 minute refined zone. So I had these multiple zones here, and the same applies to this. Among these zones, all of these zones, I will be much happier to trade from the extreme than any of these zones. Although price mitigated this and we are continuing the move. Yeah. So that was it by the day. So this morning, this was my zone that I was looking forward to trade from, and this extreme until we get the extreme. What happened is we had this fractal structure. We traded within and we broke this, making here a strong structure, right? Making here a strong structure. We failed to mitigate the structures. And we came to break about the strong structure, which gives us what? A strong liquidation. So this is a strong liquidation that we call P-bid. P-bid means pullback inducement. Pullback inducement. I think this one we had a P-bid. We broke this and we had a strong liquidation. So within this zone, yeah, there's a high probability that the zone will hold because we have leg inducement. We also have pullback inducement. Both. Yeah, we feel to break the low. It is a strong structure. It is still against the 4 hour day, but we are expecting much deeper pullback. Whatever. Um, as I was looking at, I was looking at it. This was a pullback inducement. Face as another confluence that the zone will hold at our pay. We had this leg inducement as well. So cool. When we had our mitigation, then I jumped down to the 5 minutes. So I was expecting a strong liquidation. Again, to fall into this because this one the PBL has held. The PBL held. I think here was the last supply. Sorry, the last demand that caused this was this. And price came into the zone and we created a higher high. So this entry is invalid, right? This the strong liquidation is still strong liquidation, but we will still have a strong liquidation, but we have to have something that we use to but either to validate the entry. So this is what happened. We had multiple ways here. We didn't really all of these candles closed the candle side. We were pushing to the upside. We were pushing to the upside. Um, until finally we failed to do this. We push to the upside, making here the high, the low, and the strong structure. Nearby, it may be the strong structure. When we build a strong structure, now here is our next strong structure that we are waiting for it to get liquidated. So that Kibenya and what Kibenya and strong liquidation. So this is what happened. The movie Ababe breaking. We have a strong liquidation. And Ababe liquidating. Now, when we liquidated the structure, the next question is it valid? Because we've had our change of character. Sorry, we've had our POI mitigation. We've had our strong liquidation. Now, what we have to do is we are going to validate it. The last supply that caused this break, the last demand that caused this break is this, right? So this basically is the liquidation, and the PBO half I was looking. So I entered after this liquidation. I entered out even I entered even after this, right? And then price closed above. So when price closed above, I cancelled the order and I placed this of 2.0, 2.4 something or 2.5 something like that. Yeah, so I played this up and I entered, and yeah, this was the trade, and it just yeah, it flew to the downside. Yeah. So from the hard time frame perspective, or from what I've built, I could have still pushed price, look forward to target this sweep to the downside there. But yeah, 5% this morning was amazing. It didn't even take long. It was around like 20 or 30 minutes. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. It was around 30 minutes and I was done. Yeah, 30 minutes and I was done. I take profit. So yeah, this is my thought process. So what has happened at the moment, we can still be we can still you know so yeah, debate to me, this one can be asked with so what has been mitigated? That's the question. Early this morning, I was looking forward to trade from these zones, right? I was looking forward to trade from these zones. But price didn't come into this zone. We failed to come into our zone. And we've mitigated our extreme structure, we've had our own liquidation, and now we've gotten a break on the 15 minutes, uh, a 15 minutes internal break, right? Which now confirms that this zone is holding, and there's a probability that we are aligning. Am I going to look for buys here as price has come here? Am I going to go to the 5 minutes to look for maybe strong liquidation within here and do something like this? Oh, okay. We don't break it. Um, okay. Now we're breaking this. There's a strong structure. Now we're breaking this. No, no. Price can still move from here. That one is I have no control, right? Price can still move, but since this one has aligned, the internals now, from this type structure perspective, the swing structure is bearish. The swing pullback has now ended. The reason is we've gotten an eyeballs, giving us the swing pullback, giving us that the swing pullback has ended, and now that that thing has happened, we can look forward to take advantage of the pro trend. But we also know that the 4 hour is bullish and we are waiting for our pro trend. So that is shall to be mind. But yeah, we've gotten our eyeballs here. We've gotten this because traction. And when we get this back, this is the confirmation that uh, the internal pullback is happening. So what's happening is, as we got this factor, we could have still, if you wanted to play a pullback for this internal factor, you could have still played, you could have still, you know, sit here. And when price comes to this, when we can move to the 5 minutes, and look, whether we have a strong start from this and today. But I don't want, or I wasn't willing to play this fullback. I wasn't really willing to play the fullback since all of them are aligned. So now, as we go the start break, as we go the start break, for the 15 minutes, where are the tunes that I'm looking for to choose from? So we have this tune from which is a play tune. We have a free tune, everything. So we have this free tune here. And so we have these two zones here. This one, if we are considering inducement, this one is quite far away. Can still, price can still turn around from here. But the probability of price doing that from that zone is very low. Can still continue. So when price comes here, right, and we change character, that one will be very cool for me to extend the zone. When price comes into that, look for 15 minutes, 5 minutes trade. Or even when price comes into this liquidation, I can go to the 5 minutes and wait for strong liquidation to take advantage of this move, the sell move. So this is my thought process. What I've been seeing and what has happened over today. Mhm. Mhm. So now the 15 minutes has aligned. Just that the 15 minutes factor in aligning the factor structure here is the factor structure. Because this one feels to close about this high. So we've had a 5 minute liquidation. This is how like exactly how if like when we treat that because the time for now no any favorable to trade. Yeah, it is 8 o'clock and everything. So yeah, yeah. So we had a 5 minute game. But can you say this 5 minutes we had this maybe breaking. So if say price ever breaking yeah, then here will be our strong liquidation. We expect price to liquidate this and then you get the move. If it doesn't happen, that's the price ever has here. No. So so I see. As he said, This is the strong. This is the high that caused the break. So we expect that high to get liquidated, and if it happens, can look for change. But yes, that's what I was talking about. The fact that we are seeing this doesn't mean necessarily have to take this. You can still go and everything, but yeah, this one is higher probable than this one. And when we are reading this, I'll wait for the change of character. I won't just enter straight. I'll wait for change of character from this area before. But here, I won't wait for change of character. I'll wait for change of character from this area. Here, I will enter straight away. Here, I'll wait for change of character. So this is it. Like, this is how measure. Price can still break this high, for the 4 hour pro trend and everything. But this is how I'm looking at it now. If you break here, cool. Then this one will be bullish. You're looking to trade from this flip zones now, course is in break. My break, that's a unique character. They are targeting the lows. I will targeting the lows. So it means that way in a week. It will mean I have seen in a week. Now I can look for it to target the weak structure. I can look for it to target the weak structure. So this is it. This is how I measure at the minute now. So yeah, you end here.